There's a moment that feels small, but it hits your nervous system like a car alarm. Yesterday, he was warm, consistent. Good morning, quick replies, little jokes, plans that sounded real. And then, out of nowhere, his texts slow down. The messages get shorter. He's busy. You're left staring at a screen like it's going to explain what changed. And your brain goes straight to one place. Something is wrong. I need to fix this. I should check in. I should say something cute. I should remind him I'm here. If that's you right now, breathe. Seriously, that urge isn't you being crazy. It's a biological response to distance. But here's the part you need to hear clearly. The instinct to do something is exactly what turns his distance into a full retreat. And the move that feels like doing nothing, that's the move with the most power. In this video, I'm going to translate what's happening in his head, and then I'll give you 3 ways to do nothing actively so you don't spiral and you don't abandon yourself. Now, let's talk psychology. When one person gets anxious and reaches, and the other person feels that reach and backs up, you get what relationship psychology calls the demand-withdrawal pattern, the pursuer-distancer dynamic. He pulls back, maybe he's stressed, maybe he's regulating his autonomy, maybe closeness is starting to feel real, and the space he creates feels like a threat to you, so you try to close it. You text more, you explain more, you offer more, you become understanding, you become available, you become louder. And in his mind, that doesn't feel like love, it feels like pressure. There's a term for what happens next: psychological reactance. When someone feels their freedom is being squeezed by emotional pressure, their instinct is to push back, to reclaim space. So your, "Hey, is everything okay?" doesn't land like care. It lands like, "Answer me, reassure me, fix my anxiety." That's why chasing almost never brings you closer. It makes him feel cornered. Here's the simplest image for this: a Chinese finger trap. When you panic and yank your fingers out, the trap tightens. The harder you pull, the more stuck you get. And the only way out is the opposite of your instinct. You stop pulling, you soften, you push in, you relax. Doing nothing is you releasing the tension on the trap. No extra texts, no emotional speeches, no trying to perform your value so he'll choose you. When you remove the pressure, one of 2 things happens. Both are useful. Either he stops running and comes forward on his own, or he doesn't, and you get the truth faster without humiliating yourself in the process. So what does doing nothing actually look like? We'll do it in 3 strategies. Strategy 1, the digital mirror. This is your baseline. When he pulls away, you don't increase your effort to compensate. You match what's being offered. If he takes hours, you take hours. If he sends a low-effort 3-word text, you respond warmly but briefly. You don't punish, you don't perform, you don't chase. Why it works? It neutralizes the imbalance. It tells him, "I'm not desperate for access to you." And it tells you, "I don't have to overfunction to keep someone interested." Now, strategy 2, the anxiety container. Because the hardest part isn't the texting, it's the feeling in your body, the itch, the tight chest, the looping thoughts. So here's the rule. When you feel the urge to send the "just checking in" text, set a timer for 10 minutes. Put your phone in another room, and for those 10 minutes, do one physical sensory task. Wash dishes, take a fast shower, walk outside, do squats, clean something. Anything that changes your state. Why it works? Anxiety feeds on stillness and the phone. When you change your sensory input, the craving drops. Most of the time, by the end of the 10 minutes, you can think again. Now, strategy 3, the occupied void. When he creates silence, you have a choice. Fill it with worry or fill it with your life. Use the time you would have spent rereading messages to do something that builds you: gym, friend, work, learning, sleep, your business, your body, your peace. Why it works? You stop teaching your brain that his attention is oxygen. And yes, scarcity raises value. A woman who is living is not waiting in a hallway for a man to pick her. Now, the reframe that changes everything. You cannot control whether he comes back. You can control whether you abandon yourself chasing him. Doing nothing is not weakness, it's self-preservation. It's you saying, if connection requires me to beg for it, it's not connection, it's desperation. If he returns to a woman who didn't collapse. And if he doesn't, you just saved yourself the dignity you would have lost trying to convince someone to hold you. And if you want to go deeper, I have another video on the signs he's testing you, because that often shows up right before a man pulls away completely. Watch that next.